Good morning, fanatics, and welcome to Flow with the Markets Wednesday. You know what we're going to be doing in this video, just having a look at the market, what we analyzed on Saturday, and see what happened on Monday, Tuesday, and of course what we can expect today and for the rest of the week. I'm going to be doing those on Wednesday because Wednesday is pretty much the middle ground. That is when we potentially should start having setups. Of course, Tuesday, we are definitely going to have some setups, but of course they do develop a little bit later, right? And if I do the outlook early on Tuesday, then of course we can miss those setups later. So Thursday is also a little bit too late. So I think the golden day is Wednesday. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump straight into the market. No transition, no pauses. We're just going to have a look at it, flow with the markets, and see what we can be doing. Alright, so starting with the dollar, of course, right now we have to be really paying attention to news because the market is currently awaiting CPI for the US on Thursday. And again, you can see Monday, we didn't really much move on Monday. Tuesday, yesterday we did, sorry, it's not yesterday, yeah, it was yesterday. We did have a little bit of a movement, but not that much. There were some great trades on the indices, but Forex got pretty dead. Today we had CPI for the Aussie, and you're going to be seeing actually the setups we shouted on the Aussies are overall playing out, but in a slightly kind of shitty fashion. Speech from Bank of England today, very late, so that is pretty much when London station is going to close. So how much the pound is going to move at that time, I don't know. And then of course tomorrow we're having the CPI for the US at the New York Stock Exchange open, or no, that is I think no 1 hour before that. So I am personally waiting for this. After this news release, that is when I'm going to start looking for trades, and then potentially on Friday I could be looking to take some trades. I am still just paper trading, tape reading, just observing. Took actually a couple of wins on like just paper trading and on this trading view stuff here. So let's see what is happening. Now, the dollar is still overall bearish, but we haven't had much development. So on the weekly time frame, we have this weekly imbalance sitting in right there. Of course, above we have the monthly. But the first area of resistance is going to be this weekly one. Now, dropping onto the daily time frame, you can see if I just remove my lines right there, pretty much nothing happened. Is we tapped inside, we rejected, but what you see is happening right now is we're having 2 days that are staying within the NFP candle. So again, there is no move. There is nothing to do. There is no clear signs about where the market is potentially going next. So just straight from the daily, if I just see this happening on the daily, I'm not even going to be dropping lower, because if you start dropping lower when the daily and the hourly time frame are unclear, then you're just gambling, right? You're just trading a choppy market. And then of course on the hourly time frame, we did have a little bit of a clue about what could potentially happen, and I really did like how it played out. On Monday there was actually a pretty good trade. We have this short on the DXY, which provided a long on GU and a long on EU. I also paper traded those. But then, of course, you can see it didn't come down to the hourly target. It just stopped. It halted. And right now, we're kind of pushing up. And what are we overall doing? We're just chopping around, right? So immediately, the DXY, low probability. This imbalance right there failed to cause any imbalances lower. It fails to cause momentum to the upside. We don't have even imbalances to the upside. So it's a complete chop. So for the dollar pairs, guys, wait for CPI tomorrow. Now, I would have done this video tomorrow, but CPI is very late in the day, so I'm pretty much going to be doing it today and tell you, if you're confused right now, don't trade, especially the USD pairs. And here is EU. So on EU, we were, again, on the weekly time frame, we're overall bullish, but we have this monthly zone right there, which is pretty far away. So I'm not really going to be expecting for the market to flush that bad. Of course, it could happen. But then, of course, you drop to the daily. And again, we're having right now almost 3 days sitting inside this daily candle. I'm going to delete this daily imbalance because it already did its job. And then, of course, we drop on the hourly time frame. And what are we having? Right, of course, this one tapped inside the imbalance. It tries to push up. It failed. And so then, respectively, if this low, right, this is the low that actually tapped into the imbalance, was supposed to be taking out this high. And if it did not, then this potentially becomes weak, which is what we took out yesterday, which is good. But again, we took it out and there are no signs whatsoever what is going to happen next. So once again, what are we doing? We're just ranging, potentially waiting for CPI. And I really do hope CPI is going to exit that range, because we do need some developments on the euro dollar and of course on the majority of the USD pairs. So again, guys, nothing to do. So you don't drop to the 50-minute right now and start doing like, yo, Asian high broken short, Asian low broken long. Don't do this. When you do not have a clear daily, when you do not have a clear forward time frame to work with, don't drop lower. All right, set boundaries. Now, Euro yen, so the JPY pairs were a little bit better because we did have some JPY news and we also had some Aussie news. So we're gonna see that the Aussies, the Aussie JPY, for example, played out pretty good. Now here, what we have on EJ is that daily imbalance right there, and the market did tap into it here on Monday, but it didn't really show us any clues that it wants to go higher. Then it dived a little bit deeper all the way until pretty much Wednesday, Tuesday late. So that is potentially when we had some news right here, and that is when it actually started popping. So the overall outlook on this one is good. So still, in terms of the daily, I would expect this one to get broken. Now weekly, yep, so daily bullish. So forwardly, currently, do we have anything to work with? Well, we did have a bullish alignment, and we have a very recent imbalance right there on the forward time frame that we can utilize, but we can see the market is already running away from it. So then, of course, you can refer to something on the hourly time frame or the 50-minute time frame, but currently I don't really see anything clear. A very massive trending Asian range, which is not good. So what I'm just simply going to stick to is this hourly zone. So if we eventually today come back towards this hourly zone, then I'm going to be looking for a 50-minute confirmation, trend change higher with imbalance, preferably to potentially go higher. Now, again, you can see from here, Monday was pretty dead. Chop, 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 chop. Then we came in a little bit deeper. We came in, took out the Asian low. And after we took out the Asian low, that is when we started aligning, right? So here we have the 50-minute trend change. Happened with a wick, but it's fine. And there is your imbalance. So pretty much there is your entry. This is when I have told myself that I have to start learning how to flow a little bit better, like knowing when to trade JPYs, knowing when to trade Aussies instead of just focusing on USDs, because there is a very good setup right there. Happened at not a bad time. That is around New York session, right? And again, you can see it plays out perfectly. So right now, looking to continue with this flow. Forward zone right there. Let's see if it taps. And then, of course, continuing towards that daily high, which is our target. And of course, remember that we have news tomorrow, which could change the overall narrative. Aussie dollar, again, being a USD pair, not very good. So we pulled back towards that zone, but you can see we overall broke it. Then we popped higher again, right? So we popped higher again, which is good. And we also created another zone right there, but we broke it again. So what does that mean, right? Is that we're just chopping around. We're just chopping around. And again, eventually, after you try to trade, you just see, okay, the market is doing nothing. So again, for Aussie dollar, namely, waiting for CPI. There is nothing on the daily. There is nothing on the hourly time frame to work with. So again, why would you? Waiting for CPI, and only then I'm going to check this pair back. Now, on the other hand, look at AJ. It's not chopping around. It massively went lower, and right now it's very nicely popping higher. So there is a little bit of a detail on this one, though. Again, you have to check the daily time frame carefully, and you have to look at the candles. Like if you remember, we have this daily imbalance right there, and I want you to see that the market didn't really engulf it, right? We came in here just a little bit below, right? And at that time, you could have most likely said that it's getting broken, right? And I do agree, because also like the forward time frame made a push lower, it pulled back, it then respected this bearish imbalance right there, very nicely went lower, right? And then at this moment on, you don't really expect for the market to run that high, right? But again, this one was still kind of intact, the overall daily bullish bias. And right now you can see after the news, which we had the CPI this morning here, Wednesday, that is the CPI candle. Right now we're starting to overall build the bias. And you can see overall we have this bullish fall imbalance right there. We're most likely going to have another one right here after this candle close in an hour and 25 minutes. So that is where I would potentially be looking to go long, targeting the daily high. That is our Aussie JPY setup. And then, yeah, of course, you can see Monday was pretty dead and Tuesday was bearish. But then from here on, like we started shifting bullish, chopping around. And then of course, there is that CPI move to the upside. So right now, after the CPI, I'm going to be looking for a continuation. So once again, looking for either this imbalance to tap, this imbalance to tap, preferably the lower one. It's a little bit bigger. It's nicer. So that is my setup for Aussie yen. Let's see how it goes. NZD USD, again, USD pair, we pull back, we tried to push, we failed. Nothing to look at here. So again, waiting for CPI for clear moves. NZD very nice. So like you can see this one perfectly playing out. We're having the daily zone. The market very nicely throwing wicks inside it, right? So again, an imbalance is only broken, according to me, when it actually has a body close below the low. In the bullish imbalance, we have a close below the low. In the bearish one, a close below the high of the overall imbalance. And again, you can see right now the market is carrying on to the upside, coming in very close to the target. 4-hourly time frame is already kind of starting to show us signs for it wanting to go higher, right? We actually already gave the setup. So we can see, guys, I'm working a lot with imbalances right now, and I get requested a lot to make a video on it. Still working my way around it, still gathering more experience and knowledge on it. But you can see after we had those news, the market is starting to very nicely ramp to the upside. We have this imbalance, and just this morning we quickly tap inside and we're already making our way higher towards that 4-hourly high and towards the daily high. So NZD JPY, again, you can see not the USD, but the JPY pair, because we had some news right here on the JPY. All right, then pair it with the Aussie news. So that is a pretty good combination for taking a high probability trade. Now, of course, like if you drop to the 50-minute time frame, you could be looking to take trades from this zone right here. Again, Monday was dead, then Tuesday came in, again took out the Asian low, and then it started popping. So there is that is your first imbalance on the way up, creating a trend change, and there is your trade, exactly the same as OZN. There is your long, running very nicely right now, right? So again, right now I do believe this setup is kind of over. It's coming in very, very, very close to targets, and just because it actually pinged this fall imbalance right there, we're already kind of on the way up. But not very clear, not very clear. So unlike AJ that still has some space to pull back lower, NJ is not very good. So I'm just going to allow this one to play out, hopefully take out our targets. And then of course, after this, see what is going to happen. Is it going to continue impulsing into the highs, or is it going to start rejecting? So NZD JPY not on my list. USDN, this one is also playing out pretty nice. Like, look at this. So first of all, we started from the weekly. But there was not really any context on the weekly. Right now, we're going to be having a weekly imbalance higher, which is very, very, very good for next week. But on the daily, we had this very tiny little daily imbalance right there. We have, of course, the one below. But first, I'm going to work with the first one. And if the first one gets broken, then I can look at the second one. And as you can see on the intraday, so before the week started, we have this imbalance on the opposite side. And that low right there is the daily imbalance low. So then I told you, well, I would expect the forward to get tested, then to target the daily. Look at that on Monday. Asian session, we pretty much came in, pinged it all the way down towards that daily imbalance, taking the liquidity. We never broke below it. We never kind of body closed below it. And right now you can see we're starting to get some bullishness kicking in on the JPYs, right? On the 4-hourly time frame, we have this one right now to potentially look to trade from. Very tiny, but it's good. So after this 4-hourly candle closes, then potentially we can look for the market to pull back in here and maybe give us a little bit of a continuation. However, this is a USD pair, so I would not touch it before CPI. So wait for CPI tomorrow. If you took a long trade here, pretty good. You can even see the hourly coming in, coming out, imbalances forming, retest, continuation higher, right? And you can even see it on the 50-minute time frame right there. Unlike the other JPYs, this one did not take the Asian session low. On Tuesday, it kind of stopped in the middle and then it started expanding, but it was a pretty nice long on the JPYs. And again, I don't look at them, but I might start doing a little bit more. GU took a win on Monday and took a loss yesterday, but again, it's all paper trading, and the loss yesterday I wouldn't really have taken live because it was before London Open. So again, 4-hourly time frame imbalance right there. The market came in, beautiful reaction. There was a beautiful long on the way up. Of course, then our target would have been this high. It didn't get reached, but then on the day after tapping this imbalance, we formed another one, which is suggesting that we're our overall bullish order flow and that the buyers are in control. But again, we came in, wicking, and then we finally broke it, which invalidates the zone. And there was a little 50-minute trade right there. And yeah, so once again, being a USD pair, expecting that CPI, you can see it's dead. It gives a setup, but it's maybe going to give you a win. It's maybe going to give a little bit of a move, but it never commits. Why? Well, because it's probably waiting for the news. So I'm not touching this one today. Yes, of course, you can drop to the 50-minute time frame and say Asian session. Well, in fact, it's not taken. Asian low taken, going to go long or something like this and try to force something. Well, don't. right? Don't. So pretty much the trade I took was this long from here, but again, paper trading, guys, so I'm not really gonna, like, this is the trade that I took right there. And then the next one that I took was from here, but I paper traded this one. I didn't really execute it. I was actually looking for a 1 minute shift because this is exactly London Open right there on this candle, and it came in very fast. So again, having this trend change without the Asian low being taken, you can see here we took out the Asian low, aligned higher low, higher low, push higher high, breaking structure with imbalance. That was a pretty good trade at a good timing. This one not really, right? So I wouldn't definitely have taken this one live, although I took it on the trading panel right there. And yeah, then it actually gave a couple of shorts. My community took a short from here, but again, I didn't really want to trade with this sort of CPI price action. So nothing right now, waiting for CPI. GJ, not bad. We have this daily imbalance, we tapped in, and right now we're responding higher. So again, here we had a weekly imbalance and we have a daily imbalance. So then again, the question was what taps first? In our case, the daily imbalance tapped first. You can see on Monday, then Tuesday came a little bit deeper. And right now we're just headed towards taking out this high, which is essentially going to tap us into that weekly imbalance, which is then going to be really key to see if we're going to be having a shift from that weekly imbalance right there. But on the 40 time frame is a little bit sluggish, right? Some of the other JPYs were a little bit faster, but if you drop on the hourly time frame, first tap, second tap, third tap, you don't really want to see this, right? But eventually it made a hourly trend change here. Well, we had one, we can argue that we had one right there as well, right? You probably could have taken a loss right here, but then the market aligns again with imbalance right there, and then that could have been a winner right there. But again, I don't really trade GJ. And there it is, the target just got fulfilled. So if you took a long, good, but again, just if we're extremely objective, you might have taken a loss somewhere right there because there was an hourly alignment. There is very likely also 50-minute alignment, but when you want to go to a higher time frame, to a time frame higher than the 50-minute, the hourly time frame is a good choice to really see if you actually have commitment. And like in this case, we did have this hourly trend change. No, this is Monday, sorry. Where is Tuesday? So I'm really not sure. Is this the trade I showed you on Monday? If it was on Monday, we cannot really take it because on Tuesday, took out Asian low, aligned bullish. So the long is here. So I don't think you should have taken any losses because on Monday, you don't really want to trade. So right now, again, meeting the objective. So again, we have to step back and see what is going to happen. So no setups on GJ right now. Took out the target. We're about to tap inside a weekly zone. So again, we have to wait. USD CAD, USD franc, not trading these things. Gold, I'm waiting for CPI. I don't really have any analysis on this one. Daily is choppy, weekly, no clues. Hourly, also absolutely no clues. So again, just very simply CPI. I do like this bearish push on Monday. That formed this very nice imbalance right there. And tapped in, reacting, coming in again, not good. You can see that it just fails to commit lower. And you might take a short here, fail. Comes in again, short, okay, cool, but then you right now get break even. So again, don't trade before the news. Don't. Now, US 30, it's the shittiest index of all. We have this weekly zone below, which is essentially what I'm going to be looking for to tap because we have nothing else on any other time frame. Weekly imbalance, good. Daily, no clear structure. It's overall bullish, but no clarity. And on the forward time frame, we have this pop up right there. It's coming in to test this. Currently holding from it, but it's again failing to kind of push higher and having this beautiful weekly zone below. I do think it's very nicely attracted to the low. So again, we're going to be seeing tomorrow what is going to happen. However, on NASDAQ and SPX, I took a couple of, no, I think I only traded yesterday on this because I'm paper trading right now. I don't really track my trades, but I do journal them, and yesterday was a pretty good trade. So now remember what I told you at the beginning of the week, that I was overall bearish and that we have this daily imbalance. Well, Monday came in and engulfed it. So again, just because I said shorts from here, Monday came in and engulfed it, I am immediately shifting my bias. Why? Well, because also the forward time frame formed this beautiful massive leg higher, right? Then on the pullback, there is a trade right here. And yeah, pretty much again, where did I trade from after having all of these imbalances right there? I just went to the 12-hourly time frame where we have just one. So pretty much within this area right there, you could be looking to take a trade. How do you know? Exactly from where? Timing, right? So there is a 14:30. That is New York Stock Exchange open. That is when the market popped up, created a beautiful 50-minute trend change with a beautiful 50-minute imbalance. So pretty much the trade that I took, again guys, paper trading, so I'm not really gonna share any stats or stuff. And yeah, target was pretty much above this high, but no, I targeted 2R on this one, right? So very simple, nice 50-minute trade right there. Exactly the same setup on SPX. So currently what we have is something very interesting. We have a daily zone to work with, which is very, very, very good. We have a daily zone to work with right there. But of course, above the daily zone, we also have a 4-hourly zone. Now, I would prefer the daily. And I'm going to check back today. So today, I'm only going to be looking at SPX and NASDAQ, nothing else. But I'm also going to be very hesitant to trade live. I'm just going to paper trade because of CPI tomorrow. So today, as New York comes in, I will be looking to see if the market taps in here and gives a setup. And if it breaks below, then of course, my next objective will be this daily zone. I would like for this daily zone to be left for tomorrow, because when CPI comes in, then we might tap inside this daily zone, and it's going to be this daily zone that potentially will be responsible for a move higher. So again, those are my two setups. Today, we might get a quick reaction from this 4-hourly zone. If we do, I'm definitely going to take a paper trade, but nevertheless, waiting for tomorrow to see the true move. SPX, exactly the same. Like we had a little bit of a bearishness kind of at the open of the week, but the market tapped here in the weekly zone, tapped in, reacting from there. Right now, what we have is similar to NASDAQ. We have a daily imbalance that suggests strength going to the upside. 4-hourly time frame as well. Yesterday, we have these like 1, 2 imbalances. So which one is going to get respected? Well, again, one of the two. How do you know which one? Well, again, apply your entry models. And again, sometimes you might get a long trade from here, loss, okay, then trade from the next one. But again, in my case, I was looking at timing. So again, at New York Stock Exchange open right there, there was exactly the setup that I showed you on NASDAQ, targeting that high. I think it was actually a better risk to reward than on NASDAQ, because it developed there. So there was no trend change right there, but as we had a trend change on the NASDAQ, this one I trusted it's also gonna go. So yeah, this one was a 2.5 towards the high, perfectly pinged it, and then it started reversing. So now, right now, the only setup that we have is from this daily zone. So what I'm gonna be looking for, daily pullback, first target is gonna be that daily high right there. And then of course, the second target is gonna be that weekly high. So let's see how today, and I would expect tomorrow for the move to occur. Let's be patient. And yeah, pretty much that's it. So again, just to reflect back on it, DXY and USD pairs, wait. The JPY pairs are already making the move. So if you didn't trade them yesterday, I do think today it could give a setup. But again, wait for tomorrow. Right now, it's already, if you have a look at all the JPYs, they're all impulsing right now towards the targets. After pulling back to those daily imbalances, and right now crushing it, there is go like NZD JPY, already smashing it, as we said. USD JPY, I'm going to wait for tomorrow because it's a USD pair. GJ smashing targets as well. And gold waiting for CPI, and pretty much indices. The only focus I have is NASDAQ and SPX. That could potentially offer some longs, but I do believe they might come tomorrow as well, right? So that is for right now. Again, still paper trading, still kind of warming up a little bit, getting a feeling of the market, already kind of getting a good feeling of it. And after CPI next week is also going to be very, very, very fun. I'm going to be traveling a little bit, but that doesn't matter because we are always going to show up. So guys, that's for me. Let me know how your week is going so far. Let me know if you're trading. Let me know how your year is starting. Let me know what are your favorite pairs looking forward for this week. And I wish you good luck and talk to you on Saturday.